Well, the big political story today, I'll defend him for free, thundered Ram Jethmalani today, the veteran lawyer who's representing the Delhi Chief Minister in the defamation case against Arvind Kejriwal. But the opposition says the AAP was going to misuse public money to pay Mr. Jethmalani, even though this was a personal case. The AAP insists this is the BJP's way of trying to deflect attention from the issue of EVM tampering.
Arvind Kejriwal's lawyer, Ram Jethmalani, has now said he will not charge anything, despite the 3.8 crore bill that he has sent to the Chief Minister.
I will certainly defend him even if he can't pay. But he said, no, I want to pay. Send us your bill. I have sent him the bill. Now, if the government doesn't support him, I will still appear free for him. If it becomes necessary for me to support him to live as a livelihood, also he wants it, I will support him. Because according to me, he is a clean force compared to Arun Jaitley.
And what of the Delhi government's contention that the taxpayer must pay?
Their effort to pay from the public exchequer and people's pocket has failed. They are exposed thoroughly.
अब सरकार के द्वारा कराई जा रही जांच की वकील की फीस अरविंद केजरीवाल व्यक्तिगत रूप से देंगे, वो पर्सनल केस थोड़ी था, उस मुकदमे को तो अब सरकार लड़ेगी.
Moreover, the Deputy Chief Minister wrote to his General Administration Department saying, this file need not be sent to the LG for his approval, and that the payment of the bills be made as and when they are received. But the big question raised by the Congress remains.
Why was he brought into this when Delhi government has its own team of lawyers?
With the civic polls over 20 days away, many find the timing of this controversy noteworthy. While the AAP has not responded to Mr. Jethmalani's offer to continue providing free legal advice to the Delhi Chief Minister, could this then be an attempt by the Delhi government to paint itself in a pro-poor shade? As the legality unravels, so will perhaps the politics. In Delhi, Nikhil Pandey for NDTV.
Well, we'll be joined by the Aam Aadmi Party's Raghav Chadha in just a moment. We have Sambit Patra, national spokesperson of the BJP, Ashok Malik still here with us. We'll also be joined by senior journalist Sabha Naqvi in just a moment. Sambit, how does the BJP react to Ram Jethmalani's statement today that, I'm ready to represent him for free. Even now, I'm ready to represent him for free.
This makes the whole case more suspicious, and the fact that, remember, in the very beginning, Ram Jethmalani had come to the forefront and he had said that he would fight this case pro bono. And thereafter, today in an interview, he says that though he insisted that he would like to fight this case, contest this case pro bono, but it was Mr. Arvind Kejriwal who called him and said, no, raise an invoice and send an invoice to me. So the question now is, why did Mr. Arvind Kejriwal not to have a pro bono case when Ram Jethmalani was ready? Why did he want an invoice from Mr. Jethmalani, and why did he want the taxpayer to pay for the fees? So where was Mr. Jethmalani did not want the money. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal wanted the people to send money to him, taxpayer. So where was he planning to put this money into? That is the bigger question now. So this is a very serious case after Mr. Ram Jethmalani's statement.
Well, Ashok, as we wait for the Aam Aadmi Party to come up on the program, how is this sort of backfired politically on the AAP? Because this has actually become such a huge issue in the last couple of days. Also before that, you had the issue of taxpayers money being spent in large sums of money, 97 crores on ads by the AAP government in Delhi. How much of this has really backfired on them?
I think this is particularly damaging because politicians make all sorts of charges all the time. Mr. Kejriwal made certain charges against Mr. Jaitley. Mr. Jaitley has sued him. In my understanding, this was a battle between two individuals. It is not a battle between the Finance Minister of India and the Chief Minister of Delhi. It's a battle between Arun Jaitley, the individual, and Arvind Kejriwal, the individual. I don't see why the Finance Minister should pay for Mr. Jaitley's bills, for instance, or why the Delhi government should pay for Mr. Kejriwal's bills. So, and if indeed this was a case being fought by the Delhi government, then as the Congress spokesperson said, why weren't Delhi government lawyers involved? Why was the infrastructure of the Delhi state, including the bureaucracy, not involved in preparing a defense? We've seen none of that happening. The Delhi government has not raised charges against Mr. Jaitley. Only Mr. Kejriwal and some of his political associates have. So, to raise a bill of this nature for Mr. Jethmalani, who is a very expensive lawyer, to come up with such huge bills
so
is decidedly embarrassing for AAP.
Well, Raghav Chadha is joining us now from the Aam Aadmi Party. And Raghav, we're just sorry, we're trying to fix a technical issue with your OB, but we can't hear you very clearly. So just wanted to ask you first, the question that Sambit rightly raised, which is that why, why did you ask, for Mr. Jethmalani to then send a bill? And now you're saying that you don't have the money to pay it, and he's saying, okay, I'll still defend you for free. So then why ask him for his bill in the first place? Raghav, can you hear me? All right, I really apologize. We have huge technical difficulties there. Let me ask Sambit. Sambit, let me play the devil's advocate here and try to ask you what the AAP has been trying to say in its defense. They are saying that the raid happened at the Chief Minister's office and that Mr. Kejriwal's statements against Mr. Jethmalani followed that, and that this was an attack on the Chief Minister's office of Delhi. This is what they are saying in defense, saying that this is not a private case.
Nidhi, in fact, they have lost all their defense because certain other papers have surfaced today. And one of the important papers which I would present to you first, before I answer your question, it will settle all the issues. This is a petition by Mr. Ram Jethmalani on 19th of October 2016, the petition in the High Court of Delhi. And what does the petition read? Page number 4 of the 30 pages and point number 6. It says that further ground taken is that there are similarities in both the proceedings initiated by respondent number 1, such as the facts that the parties are same, events are same, date of filing is same, cause of action is same, and both the proceedings are private in character. I underline, both the proceedings are private in character. Remember, Nidhi, that the group, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and others, along with Mr. Ram Jethmalani, had moved to the Supreme Court saying that please merge the civil and the criminal case into one. Let's not have two cases together, which they lost definitely in Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said no, they are of different nature, different character, so they have to move in different directions. That means not together. Over here, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal himself is admitting the fact that these are private in nature. Secondly, to the malicious campaigning done by Arvind Kejriwal's party.
Sorry, Sambit.
The second part, which was your question.
Okay,
if Raghav is not joined, can I
I've just got the line back with Raghav. Let me take both those points back to him. So Raghav, if you could answer that question that Sambit was raising, how can Mr. Kejriwal take a stand in court, that this is a private lawsuit, and then say something else now, and then why ask for Mr. Jethmalani's bill and then later now say that, well, we can't really afford it, we're poor? Raghav.
Well, Nidhi, there was some technical problem at your end, so kindly permit me at least 2 to 3 minutes so that I lay down my entire case before you. Now let's look at it from the beginning. DDCA is a body that has complete monopoly over sports administration in Delhi. The president of the DDCA was Mr. Arun Jethmalani for 14 long years. Certain eminent cricketers like Bishan Singh Bedi, Kirti Azad and others petitioned the Chief Minister of Delhi and said that here are reports as well as evidences of various acts of corruption that are going on in the DDCA. Please investigate. The Chief Minister, as an upright Chief Minister, sets up an inquiry, and the inquiry and the finding of the inquiry reveals that there is rampant corruption, financial fraud, siphoning off of funds in the DDCA, and not only that, thousands and thousands of young cricketers have been exploited at the hands of the DDCA, and their future has been destroyed of these budding aspirants, these budding cricketers. Now, the Chief Minister of Delhi orders some further action into the matter. In response to this, the then president of DDCA, the individual Mr. Arun Jethmalani, goes to court and files a case. Now, it is the duty of the government to defend the litigation that has been instituted because of the action of the government. The chief executive officer of the government was summoned to court, and it is the duty of the government to defend the chief executive officer. It is not a personal matter of Mr. Kejriwal. It is not Mr. Kejriwal's personal property matter. The government
did he not take a stand? One second, Raghav. Did he not take a stand in court?
Let me just complete.
Raghav, let me first ask you, one second, calmly. Did he take a stand in court, as Sambit is saying, that this is a personal matter, that this is a personal suit?
Private.
I mean a private suit?
Okay, so I will read it out to you. First of all, number one, Mr. Jethmalani, in fact, in this case, Mr. Kejriwal has been summoned as the Chief Minister in the character of the Chief Executive Officer of the Government of Delhi, not as an activist Arvind Kejriwal, not as a convener of the Aam Aadmi Party Mr. Kejriwal, and not as an individual Mr. Kejriwal. And this report in the affairs and the corruption of DDCA was also instituted by Mr. Kejriwal as the Chief Minister of Kejriwal, number one. Number two, in the cross-examination, and I was there I was present in that very room, when Mr. Jethmalani asked Mr. Arun Jethmalani that why have you not filed a defamation case against the likes of Madhu Kishwar, who have also been making noise about corruption in DDCA when you were the president. Mr. Jethmalani says, and I quote, "Many people on social media make irresponsible statements about people in public life. But when a chief minister endorses it, it becomes a matter of, it becomes a serious matter." Now, Mr. Jethmalani himself in court is saying that it is about the chief minister. The chief minister has raised certain questions. The chief minister has prepared this report, so on and so forth. And it is the duty of the government to defend the action of its chief executive officer. It is an open and shut case. And look at the timing of this controversy. This case was instituted by Mr. Jethmalani in December 2015.
But
that
Raghav,
one
1
years ago.
I'm going to come to the timing. 1 second. Give me a second.
Now raking up this
Raghav, give me a second. I'll come to this issue of timing in just a second. No, Raghav, I know what you're getting at. I'm coming to this issue of timing. I'm coming to this. Give me 2 minutes. I'm coming to this issue of timing. I just want to take back what you said to Sambit, that you heard what he said, that he was summoned as chief minister, not as activist, and that even Arun Jethmalani's original statement said that it is the chief minister who is tweeting these allegations, which is why it becomes a serious matter. Sambit.
See, answer all the question. First, Nidhi, if you have those papers, if you can draw out that letter which was written by Ram Jethmalani, the invoice of Ram Jethmalani,
I have it here,
on 1st of December 2016. What does it say? If you would read, the letter says, Arun Jethmalani versus Arvind Kejriwal and others. It does not say Union of India versus government NCT. It does not say. Had it been not in an individual capacity, had it been the government of the government of Delhi representation, so naturally an eminent lawyer as Ram Jethmalani, who is representing the whole case, he would have sent his invoice with that forum. Second and most importantly, over here we have to understand the technicality. When Mr. Raghav Chadha draws the DDCA case, now what does Manish Sisodia write in his letter? Mr. Manish Sisodia in his letter writes that all these defamation cases pursuant to the 15th December 2015 CBI raid in CM's office. First, he gets it wrong. It was not in CM's office. It was in his secretary's office. And secondly, he should be reminded of the fact that all the artifacts which were submitted in the court, it clearly mentions that the CBI did not mention or did not take any DDCA file then, because there was no such DDCA file in the office. Since there is no mention of DDCA files in the CBI memo, so where do you draw all these political rhetorics about DDCA?
But Raghav,
it is not pursuant to the 15th December 2015 raid.
Raghav, Soli Sorabji, who's the former Attorney General of India, has actually said today that it's a
I want to answer that Madhu Kishwar part as well.
Sambit, give me a second. I just want to ask him on Soli Sorabji saying that the Delhi government should not be paying Arvind Kejriwal's legal fees, that he has to pay on his own because it is a civil suit. Raghav.
Well, Mr. Soli Sorabji has been Mr. Arun Jethmalani's friend for the longest time. You know that, I know that. We as citizens of Delhi know the affiliation of Mr. Soli Sorabji and Mr. Arun Jethmalani.
This is ridiculous.
In his wisdom,
Let's argue on points.
It is absolutely clear. Mr. Ram Jethmalani thought that it is absolutely fine for the government to pay. The government of the day thinks that since a government commissioned a report, an inquiry that indicts the management of the
Mr. Ram Jethmalani does not mean that it is absolutely fine for the government to pay, by the way.
Because of that report, go to court. It is
you are wrong, factually wrong, Raghav. Ram Jethmalani does not feel that it is absolutely fine for the government to pay.
Let us not even go to what Mr. Ram Jethmalani wrote. It is your leader, the plaintiff in this matter, who in court before the magistrate in a response to Mr. Jethmalani's question says that I have sued Mr. Arvind Kejriwal because he is the chief minister in the capacity of the chief minister. What more do you need? It is an open and shut case. It is a controversy that has been egged by the BJP only to divert the attention of the people from the EVM scandal as well as the upcoming MCD polls.
Okay, Raghav, I'll take what you said to Sambit in just a moment.
Scupper the inquiry
into the affairs of the DDCA.
Ashok.
Now, I want to answer that. I want to answer on the cross-examination because it's a technical issue.
Get him in on this first. Yeah.
It is fairly clear that this is a private case between two private individuals who happen to have public positions and public designations. And what my understanding of the cross-examination of Arvind Kejriwal by Ram Jethmalani was that Mr. Jethmalani decided to take this seriously because Arvind Kejriwal, in addition to being a political activist who has made these charges, is also the Chief Minister and therefore has a status which is higher than most normal people. And therefore he decided to take his charges more seriously and took the matter to court. But it is fairly clear that this is a private case between two private individuals. I don't see how the government of Delhi should be, or the finance ministry for that matter, should be paying bills.